Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk. This is an insider's guide to real estate life and the pursuit of happiness, presented by the Yes Team Realtors. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. KJ, I'm just joking around with you, Kelly Jackson, Judah Whitcower, and Keith Smith on our program, Women Changing Our World, watching our show. I had a bet on the national championship with our good friend Kelly Jackson about the outcome of the game. And there I was trying to collect, and she knows I'm joking with her. She's obviously good for it. I love some Kelly Jackson. I won the bet.
You're trying to collect on my show, is that what you're
I won the bet.
That means I think I get 6%.
I thought it was 3%.
No. Normally I charge 10%. For you, I'll do 6.
I thought it was 3% with 1.2% going to the brokerage. Isn't that what it is?
This is a side deal.
This is a side deal. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning. I'm eating Bodo's bagels and lox bread, and brought some food for everybody today on the show.
John's saying on Instagram, and John's watching in Nashville.
Oh, cool.
He says, Bodo's, oh, how I miss you, Bodo's Bagels. Keith Smith has it. How about this for the folks that watch from Long Island and New York? A lot of those that watch this program.
That's the reason I did that today.
You emailed Judah the receipt.
I did.
So you can get the receipt on for the Facebook viewers. Give them a snapshot.
So, because it was on Tuesday we were talking about that, and my son-in-law was kicking in, and I think you just was up there and you spent like 52
Bs.
52 Bs.
Yeah.
For a dozen bagels.
Yep.
And a quart.
There's a little more of the cream cheese in that.
Yeah,
so
I got 3. So a quart is 4. These are 8 ounces, so a quart is 4 of them. So the 3, and one of them was lox, which is the high dollar stuff. $21.
So half the price, kind of.
Well,
you got to say it's half because I got a little more cream cheese.
Well, if you add, I'm telling you, if you add another $3.60 to that, so it's $25.
25, so about half.
About half, yeah.
Yeah. The only difference, and you know I love Bodo's Bagels. The Goldbergs on Long Island, they're doughier and larger. They stick with you a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying?
Are you trying to say that I got meeting too many Bodos and
no, you know what I
sticking
mean?
to me? I got it. I'm only teasing.
It's like a meal and a half.
Yeah, Well, I think the whole purpose of the conversation, and thanks for Michael Guthrie, he sent me a text for my birthday yesterday and told me the price and gave me the idea to go pick up some bagels and bring them in today.
Let's get Michael Guthrie in the feed. Someone tag Michael Guthrie, get Michael Guthrie in the mix. The man, the myth, the legend. The receipt's on screen on Facebook
cool.
Right there.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say about this receipt?
No, other than, it's, the whole premise you were trying to make is it's a little cheaper down here than up in Long Island.
There you go. Money goes a little further.
Money goes a lot further.
Is that what we're saying?
I think that's what we're saying. I don't know. I'm just eating bagels.
Keith Smith, how about we start with this, mi amigo?
Mi amigo.
And Judah Whitcower, get ready for this. Yes, Realty Partners.
Yeah.
So this man has got a fantastic 1-2 punch with his beautiful 7/8 Yonna Smith.
That's
and
right.
that 1-2 punch is the Yes Team Realtors. The Yes Team Realtors is going to be a portion of Yes Realty Partners.
Okay. You're doing good so far.
I mean, I'm super excited, my friend. I know you are.
I am too. I have to get off of my excitement for the bagels and the lox. I mean, the lox is really, that just makes the difference. Yeah, we're super excited. This is a partnership that's kind of been in the works for a couple months anyway. We're partnering with Quentin Beckham and Keller Williams Alliance, and we're creating this little partnership called Yes Realty
Partners.
Thank you. I can't even say it. Again, I'm just staring at this bagel over here, and my ADD's kicking in. Bagel. But so Yes Realty Partners, and the genesis of the name, just for those that know, Yes is Yonna's initials, but it also talks about what we do, right? Realty is pretty self-explanatory, but as you know, because we made you go through a little bit of heck there, because my hats off to you and Judah and your team, because you guys are pivotal in the creating of the logo and the brand and everything you're doing for us. But we chose the word partners very specifically, instead of group or instead of associates. Technically they all kind of mean the same thing, but the reason why we picked this word is Because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're partners. We're partners with our real estate partners, right? Our actual partners. We're partners with you. We're partners with our buyers and our sellers to help them to achieve their goals and their objectives. And, that's kind of the mindset. And this is all about a partnership. This is all about a team. This is all about education and helping folks achieve their dreams and their goals as far as real estate or not real estate, whatever it may be. We talk a lot about on this show everything other than real estate. Bagels would be one of them.
That's a sizzle reel. Start with the word. We chose the word partners. Write that down. We chose the word partners. This is the beginning of the sizzle reel right there. So the Yes Realty Partners, a brand in real estate that you will come to know and love and get to know even more. This man has got a fantastic, like I said, 1-2 punch with Yonna Smith, his beautiful 7/8. They had the best year in company history in 2020. They are going to now take this infrastructure and foundation that's been so successful for them for so long and help put this infrastructure and foundation in place so others can capitalize on the do's and the don'ts that you've experienced, right?
You're doing so good. Where do I sign up?
Because it hasn't always been an easy ride, right?
No. So real estate is much more than buying and selling. It's a relationship building. And I was thinking about this earlier this morning because actually I didn't prepare too much for today's show, and I'm relying completely on you to walk me through the show today.
You're in good hands.
I'm nervous, but anyway, every morning on my phone at 5:30 in the morning shows up 3 things: be professional, be trustworthy, and be caring. And that is really what we're all about. It's always what Yonna and I have been about. It's always what real estate has been about. It's about we've got to be professional, and that's what we're building. There's the level of professionalism in it, right? We got to be trustworthy. People need to trust us. We'll talk a little bit later about a deal that we did this weekend. That we were competing against eight other offers. A millennial buyer. Close to the $500,000 mark. But ultimately, you have to build that trust with that person. And then care. You got to show you care, right? Just, be caring on it. And, at the end of the day, if you were to ask me what Yes Realty Partner, we're just calling it YRP.
Get the logo on screen, J-Dubs.
YRP for the simplicity on it. That's the 3 overarching things where we're going to be as professional as we possibly can, always 100% of the time. We're going to be trustworthy. You're going to be able to trust us in that, and we're going to show we care. And that may not end up in a transaction. That may not end up in a listing. That may not end up in a sale. But at the end of the conversation or the end of the time we spend together, hopefully you're going to know those 3 things kick in.
That's a second sizzle reel to write down as well, J-Dubs. Keep going, baby boy. You're on fire. You're on fire, baby boy.
Did you just call me baby boy?
I did.
I'm not.
I like when you start the program off in this frame of mind.
I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with
You're okay with baby boy. Come on now. The trust aspect that you've built with your clients caters in, kind of associates with 7 ways you go about business that are extremely important to you.
It's more than that. That's just life.
That's life, right?
This is life, yeah. And
it's important because I'll cut to the chase. And you know this as well as I do. The business doesn't have the most honest rep.
Oh.
So to have folks that are going above and beyond from a character and honesty standpoint really means a lot, and it's why you're successful. Because the business itself does not have an honest rep.
No, I don't know who's watching because you're watching the feed. But if any other realtors
there's a lot of realtors
watching that, there's a stat somewhere out there.
You're right above the car salesman.
Used car salesman.
Yeah, right.
Not even regular car salesman.
Yeah.
I think we're above or below it. I think at some level they may be above
I
us.
think we're going to call you above.
So we personally have a bunch of experience with this, right? So I was a builder and developer, right? So builders and developers tend to also not have the world's greatest rep. I come from a family of cops and firemen, and sometimes they don't have the best rep on that end of it. But look, it's not even one of the rules. It's pretty simple. Be comfortable in your own skin and just be professional, be caring, and be trustworthy, or be trustworthy and be caring. And that's it. If you just keep on doing that, that doesn't mean there's a little slip-ups and whatever it is, but when you do that, when there's a slip-up, I had one happen to me yesterday. There was a slip-up. I inadvertently slipped on something, and I owned it. Immediately owned it. Said, look, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. What do we need to do to fix this? Instead of hiding, instead of coming up with excuses. It wasn't a big deal, but it was turned out not to be what I said it was, and it was inadvertently. I didn't do it on purpose, and I owned it, and I fixed it. And, believe it or not, we're out buying another house with the same couple. So it's all about that. It's really not that complicated. And it's kind of like raising your kids, right? It's kind of like raising little Trey,
yeah.
Right? You can tell Trey what to do, and you can say, Trey, I need you to do this. But at the end of the day, Trey's how old? 2 now?
Almost 3.
Almost 3.
Yeah, 3 in March.
So what'll happen is, as sure as I'm sitting here, God is my witness, when Trey is in his 20s.
Trey's my son, for those watching. Our son.
When he's in his 20s and his 30s,
Uh-huh.
he will come to you and say, Dad, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
And it was just a presence thing. It was just you being you being professional, caring, and trustworthy, and that absorbs into your child, and eventually you will hear it. And that doesn't mean that you'll find
friction.
Well, our children are in their 30s, in their 20s, and one of them just texted me as I'm talking to you from Seattle. You kind of say to yourself, geez, did we screw them up, right? And ultimately, you didn't. And, you just be you and be straightforward and honest and direct, and it'll come out well. It always does. And if it doesn't work out well, everybody just kind of...
How do you describe parenting? And guys, my wife and I, we're not even 3 years into this.
Is the boss watching?
I'm sure she is. She watches everything. She and her friend group particularly like this show. They like the back and forth dynamic.
Oh, because we eat bagels.
You're eating bagels.
That's right. You didn't. Mrs. Miller, he did not take a bagel from me this morning.
She got me. My mother-in-law got me some 30-30 Lululemon pants. These are the ABC pants, which stands for, literally, it says it on the tag. I'm not speaking out of turn. Anti-ball crushing. It literally says that on there. So they're 30-30. They're not much room for bagels in a 30-30. So where I'm going with this was the parenting thing here.
I'm eating breakfast. I did not need to have that mental
picture. The anti-ball crushing?
I did not need to have that.
We will get to real estate for those that are watching. And Katie Pearl from Keller Williams, she says, I'm watching. I'm an agent with Keller Williams.
There you go.
How do you describe parenting? My wife and I, we're not even at the 3-year marker with our first. And I try to describe being a mom and dad in one sentence like this. The best, hardest thing ever. The best, hardest thing ever.
It's been so long since we've had a 3-year-old in the house.
Well, you have one now, a grandson.
We have a grandson. Yeah, he's up in Connecticut. Again, we use the word professional, but just be honest with your child. It's just how we did it. Everybody does things a little bit differently. And those who watch the show know our life story, and that's kind of how this happened. We lost everything we had between 2008 and 2010. And when that started happening, I sat our children down and told them the truth. Said, this is what's happening.
You told your kids?
Oh, yeah, sure.
In the moment?
Absolutely. Sure.
How old was your
Well,
youngest?
there's not a moment. You got to understand that process.
Well, it's a long time. Yeah, it's a period of time.
It's a long, slow road. But to make a long story short, I did. And I had to have, and my youngest daughter's watching, I had to have this honest, direct conversation. We're there for you. We're here for you. You're not going to, we're not going to lose our house. These things are not going to happen. But life has just changed, right? And you have to be direct and honest with them, because look, at the end of the day, they know it anyway. They pick up on it. They're pretty sharp little people. But I tell the story all the time. Daughter number 1, we were able to buy a used BMW when she graduated from high school. Daughter number 2, we were in the middle of losing everything. We ended up buying. We had a client who couldn't pay us, who ended up passing away. And somehow or another, we ended up, it's a long story. We got the car.
And that's went to daughter 2.
And that daughter Yvonne drove that until she graduated college, and I made a commitment to her. I said, look, this, as she said, Daddy, it smells like old lady.
It smells like mothballs.
It's like, literally, that's what the car smelled
What
like.
was the car? What was the car?
1997
1997?
Ford Escort, lime green.
No.
Station wagon.
Lime green paint job? You made your youngest drive that around?
It's life. She had to. It's
Yeah.
either that or she walked.
Respect.
It's either she walked,
Yeah.
right? And she was.
And it's a long walk from the lake to Fluvanna County High School.
It's a long walk from the lake to Fork Union Military Academy, where she
We're
was
swimming.
for swimming every morning at 5:30 in the morning. So that to me, just be straight up. But this is also goes into real estate. You have to be honest, and you have to be direct, and you have to be, respectful for people, and you have to help them through the process. Like this one particular deal that we did over the weekend, young couple. I keep on pointing to this phone, right? That phone is only going to get you somewhere. Over 90-something% of transactions now start with that phone, right? But literally, after we were not able to get one or two houses because there were certain paths that they wanted to take, sometimes with children, right?
You need to let them fail.
You got to let them fail.
You need to let them touch the stove and burn themselves so they don't touch the stove again. My dad used to let me touch the stove all the time. I think one time he would say, touch this.
Yeah, well.
Let me fall off the front stoop 4 steps. He goes, I bet you're not going to do that again.
Yes. But that's a little extreme.
I'm telling you, that's how it was at my house.
Yeah, well, no wonder why you turned out this way.
Touch this. It's hot. Don't touch that anymore. I won't, Dad.
Geez, thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
But the reality, I'm telling you, that explains a lot.
I'm telling you.
It explains a lot.
I'm telling you.
But
that's how the Cubans did it, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good Lord. Oh, God. I only
step out of line, get the switch from the backyard and bring it into me. You think I'm joking?
No, my mother once threatened to iron my face and meant it. So, she's Italian. Teeth was grinding. I hope she's not watching. My father, by the way, is in the hospital working on having some heart procedure done.
Thoughts and prayers with him.
Thank you. I texted him this morning. He's doing well. But
your wife has a comment about this topic. Children don't come with manuals.
They don't.
We're trying our best to teach them the right and wrong, and the rest is up to them to figure out.
Also, marriages don't come with manuals either, right? You gotta learn. It's again, the reason we use this word partnership. It's so important to us that we are in partnerships with our clients, with our, everybody that we work with, because it's a team effort to get through what we do for a living.
Jason Krigler watching the program. This is funny. Yes, team real estate. Not only real estate guidance, but parental and child rearing guidance on today's show. Jason Quigler's loving what he's watching today. Thank you, Jason,
that's a lot of that has to be with the fact that I have the title grandpa. So I've earned the right to talk a little bit about parenting. So thank you, sir.
Your title is grandpa? What does Harry Jr. call you?
Oh, Pop.
Oh, Pop. Okay, for me, for Trey, it's Mimi and Pee-Pee.
Yeah.
And Gamma and Gampa.
Yeah, no, it's Pop. And it gets a little confusing.
Because there's a bunch of Pops in your family.
There's a bunch of Pops. My
Pops
father, we call Pop. Right. So everybody just goes.
James Watson is calling your dad Pop. Everyone calls him Pop.
Oh, everybody calls Pop.
Right. Pop's Pop.
I mean, I've had. Let me see. Who was I? We'll leave the senator's name out of it, but there was a senator that was in the middle of a meeting that my father was part of with the fire department out there, and he says, "Hey, Pop, how you doing?" Where the hell did that come from? How did he know that?
Oh, my friend. So yes, Realty Partners.
Yeah. So let's
the
talk.
new real estate partnership.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the genesis and the mindset of what Yes Realty Partners, or YRP, is going to be. And I was thinking about this. Earlier this morning. The best way to explain this, and what we're about, and how this partnership is really going to work. So we've been doing this for about 35 years. Well, 30 years anyway. At least a little over 3 decades. So back in the 80s and the 90s, the model by real estate transaction was done was very broker focused, right? So there was there was newspaper ads, and it would have a brokerage, right, or some sort of broker on it, and you would look at the picture of the house and then either call the brokerage directly, and the brokerage would then refer you out to the agent. That's kind of how that model went. And then somewhere, and this is transitioning, somewhere between 2000 and, let's say the 90s into the 2000, it kind of migrated to be more agent focused, right? People were marketing and selling and promoting listings via the agent. So people would call the agent. And I saw this coming about 2 years ago. 2021 or 2020s and on, it's all going to be driven by the end user, by that thing right there, by that phone. It's not going to make the deal happen, but the client or the buyer or the seller is not going to open up a newspaper. There's some of that. There always will be some of that, but by and far, they're not going to open up a newspaper and
let me figure out where I'm going to live.
Yeah. So what they're going to do that, and then they're going to search their trusted advisor out on that, or what we're doing here on the show. That's part of the reason 2 years ago, 127, 28 shows ago, you've convinced me that this was a great thing, and I'm so glad that you did. And you get this thing out, and that's how it's going to go. But eventually, every transaction, that stops. And then we have what happened now on this weekend, this millennial...
The phone can only take you so far.
This millennial couple put the phone down, walked in the house. It takes between 3 to 7 seconds for somebody to make a decision. And they both turn to us and say, tell us what to do. We want this. Whatever you tell us to do, we will do. And I said, okay, great, let's go, guys. And we did it. We wrote a love letter we did all the right things. We did the research on the neighborhood. We communicated with the agent on the other side. I mean, we just went to town and went to work for a whole day, and found out how much they owed on the house through the county records, all these different things, how much the property was. And we said, look, guys, in order for you to get this, you're going to have to go over market. And this is the number I think it's going to be. And that was the right number. But more importantly, they started to say, okay, we need to dial down a little bit some of our asks, right? I want to have the septic tank pumped. Okay, look, you can
do it yourself. It's not that much money. Just do it after you get in the house.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Don't lose the deal over flush of the septic tank.
Don't lose the deal over.
Lose the deal over the foundation or some structural issues. Well, not over the septic tank.
In this particular home, when I walked into it, my builder brain went off, and it was like,
it was in good shape.
It is in great shape.
Yeah.
Great shape. So that's how I was trying to visualize where I think the market's going to go, where I think our industry is going to go. And this was the genesis of this YRP and this partnership. And because at the end of the day, Keller Williams is this huge behemoth of a technology, and underpinning everything we've been talking about, all this be professional, be caring, and be trustworthy, is going to have this underpinning of technology. So the vision here anyway is to bring this technology that Keller Williams brings to the table, plus what Yonna and I do really well, and build a team.
It's the best of both worlds.
In partnership, and I can't describe it any other way than that. I can't see how it will not be successful.
Let's talk shop. Let's talk 8 offers, a listing approaching jumbo loan territory. Millennial buyers.
VA on top of it.
Okay, let's talk this deal here. What are the strategies and mechanics to winning a deal like this when, let's be honest, the odds in some ways are against you? Now, when your buyers are saying, we want the home and we're willing to pay for it, you then start having some chips in your corner because you have the ammunition to get the deal?
And I love you, brother. I do.
Yeah.
It's not always about money, right? So money is one thing.
Did the highest offer win this deal?
Well, I don't know. We don't know that.
That's fair. You don't.
We won't know. We don't.
But you went above market.
We went above market, and let me rephrase that. We went above listing. I think we hit the market.
Well, yeah, you went above listing. Yeah, market is what someone's willing to pay for it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So this is a VA loan, which makes it even more trickier because it has to appraise for 100% contract value. Right.
Have we gotten to that point yet?
Well, I think it just happened. So we need time. We got to get an appraiser in there. We got to do all that stuff.
Gotcha.
But we protected them.
Oh, you
in
did
that.
with a contingency.
Well,
if it doesn't meet appraisal,
well, no. That language is baked into it. So part of the winning strategy.
I'm literally learning from here. Are you guys learning? I'm learning here. Go ahead.
So part of the strategy is
every 2 days a week I go and get an MBA in real estate from you.
From me?
Yeah, from you.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm serious.
So
That's my wife.
Well, hold on a second. I think I need to increase what.
No, this should be the other way around. You're saying this is backwards.
Hold on a second.
Stop it. Don't say it.
Hold on.
Stop
Hold
it,
on.
Don't say it.
Let me get this straight. I'm paying you.
And I'm learning from you.
And I'm educating you.
No, come on.
Mrs. Miller, am I doing something wrong here? Mrs. Smith, am I doing something wrong here?
Oh, you're so funny. Okay.
Yeah. So look, the not to get into the weeds, but the base language in the contract on VA, and so one of the struggles. So technically, you can't reject somebody because he's a veteran. It's illegal, right? You can't say I'm turning this down because it's a VA.
What, lender?
No. You can't as a seller. You can't turn it. That's illegal. But you can turn it down because there's a better financing option. So let's say the contract is $10,000 below our offer. I'm just picking a number. It doesn't matter. But you're doing 20% down, right?
And someone else is all cash.
Well, cash, just forget about it. If you got, and that was part of the strategy. First thing, I pick up the phone and I call up Jerry Mill on the other side. I know there's only certain things you can tell us. We know the questions they ask. One of the questions is are we keep competing against cash? If the answer is we're competing against cash,
You're piecing out.
no, we have a very heart-to-heart conversation. We will proceed as the client wishes us to do that, but we're going to say, look, the likelihood of us getting this because we're competing against cash, even if we're this higher, cash is king. It's a much simpler path to go through that. But if I've got a VA loan competing against a conventional, let's say 80-20, 80% loan, 20% cash down, and I'm doing a VA loan at 100%, which is what we were doing, right? Even if we were at the same price, how do I get this seller to accept my offer over that offer, right? How do we do that? I'm asking you a question.
Well, I mean, one of the ways you did it was...
Since I'm teaching you.
One of the ways you did it was
this
the
is a
love
quiz.
letter.
Pop quiz.
One of the
Hot
ways
shot.
you did it was the love letter. And what
Love
you
letter
did
was
was
one.
you, in advertising terms, you took your buyers... Yonna Smith, you're going to love what I'm about to say. You took your buyers and you humanized them.
Yep.
You localized them.
Yep.
And you personalized them.
Yep.
And by taking your buyers and making them stand out from the rest, by giving them, this is how we'll take care of your... It probably said something like this. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller, we immediately fell in love with your home as soon as we walked in.
Sure.
We saw ourselves raising our family and our children here. We will go beyond
Well,
taking care of
let's
this home.
let's get before you wrote that letter, right? We made phone calls and we took a little bit of time to figure out who the seller is. We don't know any specific details, but we know enough to know that that particular seller lived in that house for a good number of years.
Yeah, it's their home.
And
it's like a child to them.
They're retired. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They're retiring, raised children, had grandchildren in there, and you're 100% right. That letter then picked up after that and say, look, we want to do the same thing.
Yeah, you made them stand out from the rest.
But that's probably not what made this deal happen.
What made the deal happen?
What made this deal happen was we sat down with our client and explained what the VA clause is in the contract. We said, so basically the VA clause, and any realtors was watching or brokers that are watching that I go off kilter here, please bring me back and correct me on that. Make a very simple thing. The veteran, because I'm a veteran, the veteran has a couple options. So if it doesn't appraise, the veteran can basically terminate the contract. Doesn't appraise, I'm out. The other thing that could happen is you go back to the other side and you negotiate the difference back and forth on that.
How often does that happen?
Probably never. Just generally. So look, the reality it is from our perspective, we're not going to let that buyer buy that home
And overpay.
and know right out of the box it's not going to appraise.
Because you're basically allowing them to fall in love for something that you know that they can't have at the end, and they're going to be devastated even more.
Be professional.
Yeah.
Be trustworthy, be caring. That's not professional. We went into it knowing it isn't going to work. That is unethical, unprofessional. We're not going to do that. Be caring or trustworthy.
It's going to break their heart.
Well, it's not right to everybody. It's not
Yeah.
right to you on the other side. It's not right to, it's wrong. It's just flat out wrong. Now, we felt we were in a good spot. I think we might be $1,000, $2,000 one way or the other.
Yeah.
So then the next option is that you either split the difference with the seller, or in the language in the thing is the veteran or the buyer has the right to bring cash to the
Pony
table.
up cash.
And that's what we did. We wrote in the contract on this thing that, if over up to a certain amount, right? And that's what made the difference. Because frankly, the other side, I think, was concerned about the VA appraisals are very strict and stringent, and that's great because they protect the veteran. I love it. But they're very different than a regular appraisal. So one of the difference might be a regular appraisal, if there's like a physical issue with the house, won't catch it. VA, it will. And they'll say, you need to fix this before we do this. Again, from a VA perspective, it's all about protecting me, right? Or our fellow service folks to go ahead and do that. So that's what it was. And there was a bunch of dialogue and communication going back and forth, and that's how we got there. We showed we were professional. We showed that the agent on the other side and the seller could trust us, that our client is legitimate. Not that the other ones weren't, right? And we showed we care, and we got it across the finish line.
Give Keith Smith some love. Hit the like button right there. Yonna says, bring up the real estate class.
Real estate class.
Yeah, it says, how about you, that real estate class? Maybe she's referencing that you're doing a real estate class here on the show?
It could be. I don't know what Mrs. Smith is talking about. I'm being honest. I have no idea what my wife is saying.
You're doing a heck of a job, my friend. Nelson County real estate market is something you want to highlight. You wanted to talk broadband in Nelson County.
We're going to do that Friday.
Jesse Rutherford Friday.
We're going to bring Jesse Rutherford in. We're going to bring in actually two
big time show Friday.
Big time show on Friday. We've got authors from the Realtor magazine. Actually, one of them is a local real estate agent.
Who's that?
Who authored this? Benjamin Reeves. That and Ali is a doctor. I can't remember the doctor's last name, which is the co-author in that. They're both going to come in and talk about broadband because, just to talk about this client, right? First thing they asked me is, I need internet. And we started searching it and looked for it. I'm belching. I had a small cup of coffee. So, I'm excited about broadband. So excited about it. We're going to have a lot of people in. I mean, this will be the first show this year that we're actually bringing a guest in, actually. Right? We haven't done one yet.
That's great.
Just been me and you. I'm kind of getting comfortable with this.
Oh, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I have fun.
And the show goes so many different places when we have long form times to talk here, which I think we all appreciate. You have 5 firms watching the program here. For those that are just watching the show, just joining us now, Yes Realty Partners. Yes Realty Partners, the new business alliance Keith and Yonna Smith have created along with Quentin Beckham of
Correct.
Keller Williams. Yonna saying, how about you, Jerry, taking the real estate class? I've thought about it many times, Yonna Smith.
I know a good brokerage you can hang out with.
You know a good business alliance.
I know a good business
partnership.
Business partnership.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you for keeping me straight.
Business partnership, Keith Smith. My friend. All right. So the prediction was, and everybody's asking us to talk shop now.
Sure.
The prediction was that the spring market springs now. Why don't we start there as an entry point?
I can just speak from our personal experience.
He's done $1.5 million in July already, or January already.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Is that safe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's got $1.5 million.
Actually, more than that, but
close to $2 million.
A little over 2. Yeah.
He's got a little over $2 million on the books. Under contract.
Yeah. As of today, they'll be
under contract in January, and you're what? 12 days in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad start to the year.
I think it's a great start to the year. One's a pretty large new construction.
Yeah.
That'll eat up pretty much half of that.
So
amount.
Spring has sprung already.
Spring has sprung, and it's a widespread. It's a $200,000 plus deal in Lake Monticello, a $400,000 or $500,000 deal out in the county, Albemarle County, and then there's this rather large new construction that's roughly around $1 million.
Do you like your book of business to be that way?
Always do. Oh,
you do like that diversity?
Diversity is always key. I mean, yeah. That's just business 101. You should never, ever, ever, ever put all your bagels
In one
in one
bag.
bag. Huh? Did you like that? Huh? Never put all your bagels in one bag.
This is where your daughter's, Judah's laughing over there.
You want another bagel? No.
This is where your daughters go, Dad, that was a dad joke.
You put it.
That was a
Never
dad
put
joke.
all your bagels in one
That
bag.
was a dad joke.
Or your tubs of butter.
Do they say that to you?
Huh?
Do they say that to you?
Yeah, they do.
They say that's a dad joke?
They go, Dad, you're an idiot.
No, they don't.
Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yeah. We have such a, we're so blessed. We have such a wide open relationship with our
Your
children.
daughters.
We it
Yoda's
just,
laughing.
yeah. Never, that was pretty swift.
That was pretty funny.
Never put all your bagels in one
That
bag.
made me laugh.
But it's true. Diversity, we do a little business coaching and mentoring and
You do
stuff.
a lot of that.
We do a lot of that,
And you
actually.
do a lot of consulting.
We do a lot of consulting, yeah. Well, but just think about it, at the end of the day, that's what we do with clients and other real estate agents. We basically coach and we mentor and we educate and help people get to their place that they're comfortable with making that decision. Sometimes, you have like a client where I had with this millennial one that we're talking about. They said, I need you to tell me what to do. And I said, okay, great.
Yeah, you love that.
Well, I'm just comfortable in my skin enough to say, okay, got it. And we're going to do this. And thank you for putting your faith and trust in us. We will make this happen. And we made it happen. But so it's I got to remember that. Put all your bagels in one bag. But you always diversify. Always diversify. I got a couple development deals going on.
Okay, how about this question? For a new agent,
That's a great question.
how's a new agent diversify?
That's a great question.
Because the new agent, okay, here's another question for you.
We're
Answer
not going
that
to get to
question
the
for me.
rules, but that's a great question.
How does a new agent diversify? And the second question I have for you is: a newer agent, is this wrong or right? Is the newer agent, because he or she newer, automatically going to be in starter price points?
No, that's not true.
Okay, that's what I would. What do you think?
No, that's not true. So it depends. So if Jerry Miller got his license and he wanted to start, regardless of firm, regardless of whatever you're doing, my advice would always be
Yes, Realty Partners.
no.
Yes,
no.
Realty.
Okay, turn that off.
Okay,
Let's talk here. But thank you. Is this business the entry level? It's kind of easy.
What does that mean?
Well, it's easy to get a license. That's not
Yeah, the
easy.
barrier of entry is not hard. That's why you have so many agents out there. That's safe. I can say that. You didn't say that. I said that.
Well,
How much is it? $1,200 for a license?
well, you got to take Yonna teaches principals classes, so you got to go through principal classes. You got to take the state test, the federal.
What's the barrier price point?
Oh, the price point, I don't remember. I did mine so many decades ago, I don't remember.
Ballpark, isn't it? It's less than $2,000, right? To start a
Yeah,
business.
a couple
It's less than $2,000 to start a business.
Well, start the business. That's just to get your license. The point I'm trying to make is one can get a license, let's say, relatively easily,
Yeah.
right? But that's just a license, right? Now you got to learn how to operate, because you are now an independent business operator. You're an entrepreneur, right? You're what we've been doing for 35 years.
Yeah, it's not easy.
What you've been doing for
13 years, May 31st.
13 years, May 31st, right? So my advice always is I like the word apprenticeship, right? I would find somebody that you feel comfortable with that's willing to help you, another agent or a broker or a brokerage or whatever, but you have to learn the ropes of the business. You have to learn what it took us 3 decades to learn to help a client make a deal happen. Have to learn enough to go ahead and have a conversation with an agent on the other side who didn't quite understand VA. Now, in fact, had zero understanding of it and had to understand that. So much so that I said, I'll tell you what, this is Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. Give a shout out to one of our sponsors. I said, hang on 1 second. Put her on hold.
Scott Morris.
Called up Scott Morris at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Excuse me, at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday.
Scott Morris. I love you, Scott Morris.
And said, Scott, I'm going to shut up. I need you to explain how VA loans work to this agent. And that was, again, the difference that made the deal. But if you get a license, you come out, you don't know that. You've got to fail a bunch of times. So my advice always is to team up with somebody. The second piece of advice I would give anybody who's going to be into real estate, make sure you got a little bit of capital stashed aside. The pipeline takes a little bit of time. We're sitting here discussing.
Well, you're paid in the rears.
Excuse me?
You're paid in the rears.
Yeah, we're talking
6 months, at least.
Yeah, if you
Probably a year of burn rate.
Yeah, personally, if you can have 1 year of a burn put aside, that would be great. You can do it in 6 months, particularly in today's market. And if you team up with the right person and you help them get in that. But to go back to what product type Jerry Miller would take.
Anybody. A rookie agent.
Well, so the thing is then you have to have a conversation with the rookie agent. Okay, tell me about your life. Tell me about where you're at. Tell me where you're going. Tell me about your sphere of influence. And generally, if you're not deciding to team up with another agent to help you do that, start in your own neighborhood. Start what you know first, what you're comfortable with first. And that might be, hey, I live in Lake Monticello, right? I know Lake Monticello. I understand Lake Monticello.
Is your phone ringing?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we got to turn that off.
Okay.
Okay, don't stop ringing. Because the Instagram folks can't hear you. And you're dropping knowledge bombs right now.
Look,
now I got you.
Look what I just did.
Yeah, look at you.
Look at me. Yeah. It's the bagels.
It's the bagels.
Never put all your
bagels in a bag.
One
Sphere of influence, starting your own neighborhood.
Yeah. So thank you.
That's for you, Quentin Beckham.
Thank you for getting me back on track. So, so start with your sphere of influence. And that's what, if we would just sit down with you to start, we would start doing tell me what your A+ people are, right? That's your immediate folks. These are the people that if they know that you're a real estate agent, your friends and family.
They'll say yes.
They'll say yes. Then you do A, then you do B, and you start growing yourself out. But you start with your A, and typically I'd start with what you know best. And then take time and go through it. But a new agent gets their license on there, unless you have this, rarity, and they are out there, it's going to take, 24, 36 months to get that business. But oh, by the way, if you open up a brand new business, how long does it take you to get your business?
It takes at least that.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, at least that.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and the person who opens the new business that's an agent has a lot less overhead than the person who opens a new business that's tied to a restaurant or retail location.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so the barrier is minimal, but that's why you have every Tom, Dick, and Harry with a license. That's why I've said so many times on this.
I know. I don't want to call. I mean,
it's the most competitive space. It's the most competitive business.
That it is.
Not named restaurants. Real estate is.
Well, it's even more. It's. I think we have 1,400 real estate agents or something.
I'd say restaurants is more competitive than real estate in Charlottesville, in Central Virginia. There's more the stats per capita restaurants.
At one point we were 14.
Right.
I believe we actually dropped.
Well, I think
we're lower than 14. I think meaning we are like in 10 or 12 in the country right now.
So we went up.
Okay, yeah.
The
number went down, which meant we went up. Yeah, 100% right.
Yeah.
I don't know that stat exactly, and somebody who's watching.
Well, and the stats probably changing because of the closures.
That's exactly right. So in the larger metro areas, things are closing up much more rapidly than they are in our areas. I mean, we went out to Maya for dinner last night for my birthday.
You went to Maya restaurant?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
It was great for Yonna and I. We totally loved it. But we were literally the only people in the whole restaurant.
Yeah. Did you see Peter Castiglione, the owner?
No, Peter wasn't there.
Okay.
No.
He's a good friend.
Yeah, I know he is. I was looking for him, but he wasn't there. But we were...
It was the only people inside the restaurant?
We were the only people. This was 7 o'clock we sat down. Only people. And it was great. We loved it. We had
Of course. I mean, you had the whole restaurant to
yourself.
yourself.
Had the whole restaurant to ourselves.
VIP. You basically rented the restaurant out.
Kinda. And the bartender...
Ted Norris.
No, it wasn't. Ted was off that day. It was another gentleman by the name of Mike.
Okay.
But in any event, he waited on us. He sat on the bar. We were 6 feet away, and we ate and BS with the bartender. Had a martini, maybe 2, and it was a great experience. But we're observationalists, you and I, and Yonna, and I'm looking at the corner of my eye. And the whole time we're sitting there for an hour, there was bag after bag.
To-go food.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
They were
Thank goodness.
They were cranking them out.
Thank goodness.
But yeah, so we shall see how that space does. But that was You know, I was in the mood for a martini.
What'd you get to eat?
I went red. I got their flank steak, got their mac and cheese, which I love.
Yeah, mac and cheese is amazing.
And they're bleeping Brussels sprout things that they do with the bacon in it. Oh, can I have more bagels? I'm hungry.
You got them right there. Christian Kelly, executive chef at Maya, partner at Maya Restaurant. One of the guys making the Roadhouse in Crozet happen, along with silent partner Stu Rifkin. So we'll follow the Roadhouse closely, the new restaurant that's open in Crozet. Nelson County on the docket for Friday. The market. Well,
it's more than that. It's
the broadband.
It's a broadband.
Yeah, and the impact broadband's going to have on the county.
Yeah, we want to talk to Jesse and from his perspective on, okay, they've been doing this for 10 years. How did this happen? How did they start this process 10 years ago? How did we get to the point where in 2023, 100% will do it? I'll talk a little bit from Flavana's perspective because I was involved in it. And then these folks that we're going to interview, Ali and Ben, about more of a national perspective on it, on the drive to bring rural broadband is what they technically call it. So I'm pretty excited about it.
This question's intriguing. This question
Great question on the new agent thing, by the way.
Thank you.
I was impressed.
I mean, that's a topic waiting to happen.
I'm impressed.
How many of the, what's the uptick in new agents? Do you guys keep track of that with
do.
CAR?
We do.
Of how many new agents have joined the association?
We do.
Because I would think that's critically important for CAR.
We do. And so I'm on the board, and it's reported into us every month. And don't ask me what the number is.
Okay.
But it is. That's a.
Is COVID causing an uptick in new agents or a downtick?
Is Quentin watching?
Quentin Beckham, are you watching the program?
Yeah.
Someone get Quentin Beckham, Tom Woolfolk, or Michael Guthrie, or Denise Ramey, all CAR presidents, right?
Either former or present.
All four at one time, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I think.
I would think COVID's causing a downtick in people being real estate agents because there's a hell of a lot less inventory.
That could be, or Abby Tamman, who's the executive director for CAR, would be a good person to ask. If memory serves me right, we're adding new agents, but not at the rate that we normally add.
I was going to say.
Yeah, and that from a CAR perspective, from a Charlottesville Association perspective, that's their revenue.
Right. The fee you guys pay is how they stay open.
That's exactly right.
Well,
there's other
and there's a lot of debt service on that Hillsdale.
Could be.
Right? So, I mean, let's be honest. That money coming in is important.
Could be. I'm going to stay away from that one, though.
Okay, all right. I said it. You didn't say that. I said it.
Yeah, but you do that. It's my show. Then all of a sudden, my phone rings.
I'm just talking.
I'm just talking. I'm just talking.
Out loud. I'm sorry, Keith Smith.
Talking. So what are we going to talk about next? Any decent questions on the feed?
I mean, we have multiple people wanting us to talk shop about the city of Charlottesville and what you see coming for the next couple of months in the city.
Okay. Be more specific.
The question is this, Jerry, can you please ask Keith what his thoughts are the next couple months in the city of Charlottesville with real estate and how it's going to shake out?
Got it. It's going to continue to grow. It's the inventory is anemic. I just was on the phone with a client of mine.
You get this question all the time, don't
I do,
you?
yeah. So I was just on I just wasn't sure we were staying real estate or going someplace else. I just got a phone call. I have a client of mine that is in Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Yeah, and a developer builder client of mine that he's going to pull the trigger to start two projects in the Cherry Avenue area. A couple of two single-family detached and one multifamily thing over there.
He already owns the land?
Owns the land, site plans approved, been sitting on it, kind of waiting to see how things come along. And I got the text or the email this morning, we're going to talk and we're going to pull the trigger. So, as I was walking over here from Ixta.
That's news. Jeez. The man's so nonchalantly getting news out there.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
News.
Yeah.
Is that not news?
I don't know. You tell me.
You're saying there's
it's
going to be
business.
You're saying there's going to be a single family R1 development in
Cherry
Avenue?
No. So there's two empty lots that we're going to build he's going to build two houses on.
Okay. Two houses on, okay.
And that's why maybe nonchalantly.
Yeah, so it's...
And there's a parcel on Cherry Avenue in 7.5 that's going to have a 12-unit apartment built or condo building built on it.
Condo for sale?
He may rent them. He might mix them. We'll find out. The reason I'm nonchalant is I got to have a conversation tomorrow morning at, let's say, 4:30 in the morning
So he's added 14 units, though, potentially.
It will be 14 units.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess the point I'm trying to make, maybe too nonchalantly, is business is rolling. People are coming in. Houses are being bought and sold. I think the reality of it is that the inventory is so low that, give us a call. We'd love to sell the house. We'll give any of the agents on this feed a call. This is about the best time you can. But you're going to start seeing it regardless of Charlottesville in our jurisdiction. We're starting to see it. There's this little uptick in inventory.
It too. I feel it.
Exactly right. Little uptick. But it's so anemic. What was it? I looked at numbers yesterday, just picking Lake Monticello because it popped in my head. It was like the median days on market was like under 5, I think 4. If Yonna's watching, she'll tell you. There's 17 houses on the market.
17 houses out of 4,300?
Yeah, so if the days on market are, let's keep life simple for my brain, 10 days, right, on it, and we got 17 units, and and we talk about this all the time, there's a discussion, is it 60 days or 90 days is where this starts moving from sellers to buyers. Man, we'd have to increase so much. And so what's happening is the market, and we've kind of predicted this, right? Homes are coming on at an anemic rate, but they're flying right off. So we're not making up any ground, excuse me, on that end of it.
Another example of what you're talking about, and I follow this closely because it's my neighborhood, 840 homes in Glenmore, 840, 13 on the market.
Yeah, at one point in time it was quite a bit.
It was over 80 when I got in there last March.
Well, I'm talking
even further back.
Yeah,
so 13 out of 840, that's what?
I actually built the first house in there.
That is 2%.
Yeah.
You built the first house ever? Mm-hmm. That wasn't for Frank Kessler.
No, but it was a guy from England.
He developed it.
He developed it. It was a guy from England, and I had to get Frank's approval, and they were still putting the roads in the ground.
Was that on Darby you built it on?
Actually, I think it was.
Right, first right when you pull in.
That's exactly right.
Darby. Yeah, that's Darby. That's the premium. That's phase 1.
Yeah, so the client was from England, and he was a mason. It was a pretty neat project. Enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah?
A lot of fun. But the roads were actually...
They were carving them.
They were dirt. I mean, they didn't even have them stoned at that point in time.
And there's the chitter chatter around building and developing circles around Charlottesville is Smith may be waxing nostalgic and getting back in the game.
Huh?
That's the chitter chatter.
From who? Who the hell's talking to you?
The birds and the bees. Is that true?
Never put all your bagels in one bag.
So you're diversifying.
No, it's part of my consulting gig. It always was. I go and do that. Don't put me on the spot here. Bro.
Okay, I'm not putting you on the spot here. I'm not putting you on the spot.
Mrs. Miller.
She's watching.
Mrs. Miller, you and I need to have a conversation.
Neil says this, Keith, the Cherry Avenue Small Area Plan is before the Charlottesville Planning Commission tonight, so tune in.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that, Neil. There's another thing that's on the horizon, which I'm actually going to attend, is there's a work session for the comprehensive plan to overlay out in Crozet. That's an interesting topic.
Well, keep going with that.
Finish.
Yeah.
Drop a thing. Gotta go. Bye-bye.
Keep going.
No. So there is, an overlay. So you have a piece of land, and the jurisdiction puts an overlay, and the overlay says this is what we want. And if you meet all these criteria, Mr. Developer, then it drops down on top of the land, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've got a phone call from some folks that I'm working with. So there's a particular project out there that's about 250 townhomes, and it's called Pleasant Green. Townhomes and single-family detached, I believe it's detached, or maybe villas, which are the duplexes in it. And the particular developer is trying to convince the county, which staff I think is in support of based on my phone calls, of upping the density for affordable housing. So that's how I got involved in it as the chairman of the Community Land Trust, right? So the basic premise of it is if the Planning Commission, and through a work session today, they don't allow bonus density for affordable housing, basically in this project, there'll be roughly 250 homes and townhomes built somewhere in the mid threes to the mid fives in today's dollars. What they're trying to do is put 50 affordable housing units in it so that the land trust would be part of it. So we would be able to build, actually Stanley Martin would build them. These would be pass-throughs. We would be able to produce 50 townhomes in the Crozet area, somewhere around 200.
Dang.
And that's
That
what
price point doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist.
No.
No. So actually, thank you, Neil, for reminding me. But I want to listen to that and see how that work session goes and all that stuff. But you should, get involved. Listen to these things. Neil's a great resource for that. And you know what? I'm going to give a plug for Neil here. Donate to the dude.
Free enterprise forum. Love Neil Williamson.
Please donate to this guy. He's out there doing it every day, providing great information. Please donate to him.
He said the Albemarle County Planning Commission work session tonight on Crozet Overlay, 6 p.m. It's the same time as the Charlottesville small area plan.
So let's double team him, Neil. I'll take care of the Crozet. You take care of the
What Neil
Charlottesville.
does, because he puts photos on Twitter of his setup, is he's got multiple monitors.
The guy's freaking
and he's
awesome.
streaming multiple things at the same time.
Absolutely. But donate to him, please. This guy's doing it. He's, sometimes you may not agree with his opinion on something, and that's okay. That's what this beautiful country's about. But you gotta, he's getting information out to us, and you need to help support him.
We need info.
Any
final thoughts for the viewers?
Yeah, no. There was I kind of wanted to get into these 7 rules, and we'll get into some other time. But what's going on with this crazy thing that's going on in our country right now, which I just don't want to go down the road on it, and we just need to move on and start loving on each other. But can we just buzz through the rules? Is that something we got time to do that?
Go.
So if you don't mind, is there a way we can put them up on there?
Yeah, why don't you start? J-Dubs, you're going to have to log into Facebook here with this on the rules. So why don't you grab this and get Facebook logged in? Go ahead with the rules there.
So rule number, and this is something that Yonna and I have over the top of our desk. Yonna drew she's a bit of an artist, and she drew two nice handwritten things on this. But rule number 1, make peace with your past so it will not screw up your present. So, sometimes, and kind of what you got to let the past be the past. Don't let the past screw up your present, right? So, we lost, frankly, everything we had, and we're not letting that screw up us moving forward. We learn from those mistakes, and you move on. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, whatever others think is none of your business. Or what I prefer, Yonna wrote these. My language is a little different. My language is F them if they can't take a joke. But, whatever others think of you, it's none of your business. Number 3, time heals all wounds. Look at that.
Nice. Judah, get the feed up here so he can see it. That's all he's looking for. Okay?
It's okay. I got it here if you can't do it. Rule
Next, what's the next one you got?
Rule number 4, don't compare your life to others. And don't judge them. You have no idea what their journey's all about. So, you just be straight up with people. So we're on number 4 there, my friend. Thank you, Judah. Number 5, this is one I struggle with quite a bit, and you know this because you and I work together. Stop thinking too much. I tend to overthink things. It's all right not to know all the answers. It's okay not to know the answers. They come to you when you least expect it. We're doing a church thing here?
Yeah, I think you're doing a sermon right now.
I'm doing a sermon.
Yeah, you're
right?
doing a sermon.
I can tell by the eyes.
Yeah, you're doing a sermon right now.
The chemistry is shut up,
You're
Smith.
doing a sermon right now.
Shut up, Smith.
Let me give you $20 for the offering plate here.
And then move on. Number 6, no one is in charge of your happiness except you. That's super important. Number 7, smile. There you go. Sermon's over. Where's my $20?
There you go.
Where's my $20?
Next thing we need to do is break off a piece of bread and pass the red wine out.
I got the bagels. We're good.
I know you do. I know.
Never put all
Your dough in a bag.
in one bag.
In one bag. You never put all your dough in one bag.
So the rules fell flat.
The rules did fall flat.
Yeah.
It's just what you stand for. I think anyone who watches this show knows that you are a man of integrity. and character.
Yeah.
You go above and beyond.
We try.
Yeah, it's obvious.
We try. Well, thank you, but we try.
For you, it's constantly about the relationship.
Always
It's
about
always about the relationship.
I never.
I know.
And how you go from zero to doing well, in my opinion, never think about the money.
Yeah.
Never think about the money. Think about serving the client. And to quote Michael Guthrie, serve it with a servant heart, right? You know, just all we do is serve people. And if we make money, great. If we don't, that's great too.
I was thinking about something for your talk show here, about
Our talk show.
our talk show, about kind of like a agent spotlight type deal, where
Yeah.
like something that, because you see this market from
Sure.
a big vantage point
And then in the weeds.
and then in the weeds.
Yeah, sure.
So you have the luxury of both here.
Sure.
How about some movers and shakers that you're seeing are doing things in this community from a real estate standpoint where you're like, wow, look at what this person's doing.
So we didn't talk about this in our pre-production meeting, but that's what I'm working on. And to be honest with you, the movers and shakers, it's hard to get them to sit still long enough for a half an hour, 45-minute hour conversation. But we've got that starting stacked up in February. And, you know, you mentioned Denise Remy. Denise Remy's a perfect example of that. You know, she's, I believe she's the incoming president for Virginia Realtors. So next year she'll be the president. You know, but you're 100% right. And we're going to be talking to some folks that specialize in new construction. And so this is more than just us. And one of the exciting things that I am loving about our partnership, particularly with Quentin Beckham and Keller Williams, we're working on trying to bring some national folks in.
Awesome.
Regional national
The reach
folks.
of Keller Williams.
Yep, totally. Anybody on the feed that?
What do you think of Juan Diego Wade's announcement?
Oh, I knew you were going to go there. Look at that smile. Look at
What
that
do you
little.
think of it? What do
Look
you
at
think
that.
of it?
Look at that little thing. Okay.
I think it's fantastic.
Okay, Smith. Your sevens kind of fell flat.
I think Juan Diego Wade's announcement is absolutely fantastic.
Well, first of all, he's an outstanding individual.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy. I wish him only the luck in the world. I know this much. How the city is currently functioning at the moment is unsustainable. Not pointing fingers, we don't do that, right? Not pointing fingers, but it's just logical. It's just unsustainable. It cannot be sustained at this current thing. And so leadership, whatever that is, needs to be rebooted a little bit. So that's well, actually the city doesn't have seats there. It's an at-large election on it, right?
Yeah. There's no wards.
That's one thing I would change.
Yeah, the ward.
If I was able to change something, because different neighborhoods have different needs, and you know, I think that might work.
I think you can make a legitimate argument that the most important race in a really long time in Charlottesville local government history is the two council spots that are up for grabs on November 3rd.
And who is that again?
Walker and Hill.
Yeah. I think Heather's not decided. She's not running again.
She hasn't formally announced.
Yeah, got it.
But if we read the tea leaves,
that's
not going to happen.
Yeah, I think.
Mayor has announced she will run again.
Okay, cool. So there's going to be
There's two spots open. Walker's announced she's running again, and Juan Diego Wade just got in the fold.
Yeah, so that's one of the problems about not having a ward system or a district system, because if nobody else runs,
they're on.
They're on.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And Bellamy Brown has already said he is not running.
He's a smart man. That's why.
He's stepping out this cycle. He said he is not running.
He's a smart man. You and I have had this discussion off air. Bellamy's a good man.
Yeah, Bellamy's A+ people.
Without a doubt. He's in my A+ circle for sure. You know, my experience of 30 years of doing this, because I ran for office and didn't.
I know you did. That's why I asked you.
And didn't win. And I've learned through this process, I can do so much more on this side of the table. When I get a phone call, like I did yesterday, and I won't use names, but from elected officials asking me my opinion on something, particularly around housing. And again, this is not about me, but I'm just saying, if you can build up your professionalism, having a conversation with an elected official is no different than a seller. Professional, got to be professional. That means not calling each other names, right? Got to be trustworthy, We got to be able to trust one another, and we got to care about each other. And it's really that simple. Because I'm not smart enough to do anything more complicated than that, right? Just be honest and professional and trustworthy. And, all the other stuff is bullshit, right? So that's what I think.
Perfect place to stop right there. Keith Smith, Yes
There you
Team
go.
Realtors.
All right. I got the chemistry. No more 7 rules.
Keith Smith of the Yes Team Realtors. Judah Wickhauer is the director. My name is Jerry Miller. This is Real Talk.
Please next week. What's today? Today's Tuesday. On Friday. Thank you. Please check in. These guys are rock stars.
Yeah.
Coming in. You're going to get a lot of good knowledge out of it.
And Rutherford.
And Rutherford for sure. But
Board of Supervisor Jesse Rutherford on Friday's show.
But these 2 authors, they're
We
both.
have 3 guests for Friday.
We have 3 guests for them.
That's going to be good.
Big day.
Yeah. Friday's show is going to be hot.
I forgot.
This show was hot.
I thought today was Friday.
Today's Tuesday. Today's show
that.
was good. Keith, good people.
Thank you, brother.
Yes Realty Partners, Yes Team Realtors, Keller Williams.
Enjoy the bagels.
Don't put all your dough in the same bag.
No, don't put all your bagels in the same bag.
All your bagels in the same bag.
So real quick, we'll close out to that.
Yeah.
Do you know Yogi Berra?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so you know what Yogi...
He's the funny saying guy, the coach of the Yankees.
Well, they call him Yogi-isms.
Yeah.
Right, it ain't over till it's over.
Sure.
And I'm going to get myself into a little bit of trouble, but I call him Yonna-isms. And because she speaks multiple languages, English is not her native language, and sometimes she'll say something, and I got to go, hold it. Like, what'd she say the other day? Don't bark up a dead tree. I was like, what? No, something. Don't bark up a dead horse or something. And I was like,
I understand, Yonna. I would have gotten you.
yeah, well, I'm a little slow.
No,
and
you
I went, and 35 years of marriage has maybe it hasn't, has taught me one thing, that sometimes it's to shut your mouth.
And say, you're right, honey.
Yeah, sometimes I don't.
And that's why you guys are successful.
I'll give a shout out to her. We had a very busy day yesterday, but my wife went out of her way. When I woke up this morning, I went to bed before her the night before, on the kitchen table had all the presents, roses, and cards, and I woke up to that, and how cool is that? Plus cupcakes. Plus cupcakes.
Plus cupcakes. We will end on cupcakes. Happy birthday to you.
It's always about food.
Happy birthday
Thank
to
you,
Keith
brother.
Smith,
Appreciate it.
Judah
Thank you.
Wickhauer, our director. My name is Jerry Miller. This is Real Talk Tuesdays and Fridays on the I Love CVille Network. Friday at 10:15, guys, is a show
This is
you're
going to be a
not
big
going to
one.
want to
You
miss.
guys want to watch this.
Friday at 10:15 for Real Talk.
Broadband is super important.
No doubt, no doubt. You guys have a good morning. We will be back at 12:30 with Juan Diego Wade on the I Love CVille show.
Talk about that real quick.
It's going to be big.
So he's, what is he doing?
He's running for city council.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, he's a school board member.
No, but you're also doing...
Oh, Alex Erpy's going to join us, and he's launching a new show tied to the Hispanic community. What is it? Today y Mañana, a show that's going to be done in Spanish and
so what's
English.
the premise of it?
It's going to be offering intelligence, guidance, and know-how to the entire Hispanic community. The Hispanic community in Central Virginia has no media outlet. Think about that.
I'm stuttering.
There's no local media
Good
outlet.
for you, man. Well, hats off to you, man. You are.
So these two guys who are bilingual and have a financial background are going to bring experts onto their show
to help
the Hispanic community grow wealth, quality of life, sustainability, improve health.
And what day is this?
It's going to be every Thursday at 10:15 with the hope of going to a second show fairly soon. They
Good.
already have it completely underwritten.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well, I'll watch that. I will watch that. I won't. I don't speak Spanish.
Thursday,
but
it's going to be English and Spanish.
So you're going to do like a.
Well, they're going to do it in both. They're bilingual.
Oh, so they're going to repeat the answer.
Yeah, they're going to do it in both.
You're not going to do a.
No captions. No
Got it,
captions.
cool.
No captions.
Well, I'm
That's
excited.
Thursday at
I'm excited
10:15.
about that.
All right, we're out of here, guys. You guys have a good afternoon, and we'll see you in about 60 minutes here on this network. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Good job, Judah.
Lox Bagels.